Thanks, Austin. Well, for some folks, retirement is right around the corner, and the question that everyone struggles with is, how much money do I need? So here to answer that question for us is financial guru Colin Evans from the Evans Financial Group. So Evan, let's talk about retirement.
Let's do it. You know, as you walk into that time frame, it's a scary time. And you know, this is, oddly enough, almost every single year, different organizations do studies, and the #1 fear of retirees, oddly, is running out of money.
I can understand that.
Well, you got so many things that are factored this day, and you know, they really play a part into what's my lifestyle going to be. And this is where you really start honing in. When people are heading into retirement, they've got good ideas what they want to do. It's like, am I gardening? Am I traveling?
Cruises.
Now, yes, it's like, you know, that's what it's for. That's what you work for. Well, you want to. You know, when we want to look into some of these things, you want to start taking into consideration, what's my health care? Do I have to factor some inflation? What are taxes? What about, is my home? How am I going to pay for that? You know, have I budgeted enough for that? That's when we start looking at the annual expenses and the lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle do you want to lead? And that's, you know, am I picking up hobbies? Is travel going to be a big one? Travel's a big one for me now. I can't wait till retirement because that's all I want to do. But, you know, gardening versus, you know, collecting cars are going to be two different parameters.
Very different budgets, okay.
And expenses. Well, from that, you know, a good rule of thumb across the boards is, it's been said many times in the financial planning world, that 70 to 80% is what you should really kind of put in your head of my last years of working income. I need to have about 70 to 80% of that.
Okay.
Now, to think about that is this is where we start factoring, hey, is the home already paid for? Because that might start taking some of the, you know, the outflow of expenses coming off the table. Are cars paid for? That could be also pulling some of that. So that's just some things to look at. You know, when you go into like longevity and health, you know, fortunately nowadays healthcare is improved and people are living longer. The downside of that is that could extend
more money,
retirement, and what you have saved for it. You know, retirement's no longer a 5-10 year deal. This could be 20, even up to 30 years out there. So you really want to plan for things like that. You know, that's a time when it might be a wise idea to look into something called long-term care, just to, you know, because the healthcare expenses actually typically increase as we go into the retirement years because our, you know, bodies are breaking down and we're wearing down and stuff just starts going wrong. It's like, you know, the car or the air conditioning unit outside, they all break, so do we. And you have to look at retirement income and those sources and what is your withdrawal rate. And this is really where, looking at Social Security, were you blessed enough to have a pension? Because we really don't see those too much anymore for like people our age. As we're going, you know, as we're working, pensions are really a thing of the past. But fortunately for those that are in retirement now, a lot still have that. So that's a true blessing. You know, do we have Social Security? Which we always throw a joke in there. It's neither social nor secure at the rate that our government is spending money. But, you know, when you look at that, for the longest time, a 4% withdrawal number has been a good gauge of what I can take out of retirement assets. Per se, I have $1 million saved and I go into retirement. The rule of thumb is about $40,000 that you can draw out safely and not run out of money. As of late, though, because we've seen this inflation and things like that going across, that number has been lowered just a little bit to about 3.7, 3.8 to consistently be able to have revenue and get through those retirement timeframes. But one of the highest things that we suggest is really evaluating and putting a true income plan in place, something that's written down. That's like, I know without the shadow of a doubt of what's going to occur with my finances, with my income. Doesn't matter what, you know, markets do or taxes do or inflation does, that I put a true income plan in place. So that's something that we highly suggest visiting with an advisor and just sit down and make sure that you have that so you can go into retirement time and let the advisor worry about your retirement. Go travel, do your fun things that you want to do and enjoy retirement. That's what it's supposed to be for.
It sounds good to me, but now I have to go get my life plan together because I'm sitting here thinking, all right, I don't have any of this put together. So just a little bit of fear there, but thanks, Colin, for educating us.
Got to start somewhere. Got to start somewhere.
That's it, baby steps. So thanks for joining us
Absolutely.
today.
Thanks for having us.